When the guards weren't around, the man would quietly spit out the tablet. Then he would calmly pick up a box of threads. Once he had emptied out all the medicine, he quickly pulled out a thin thread from the box. He then took out a small antibiotic bottle he had hidden earlier and tied the thread tightly around it. He carefully tied the thread with his teeth and slowly swallowed it so that the medicine would remain hidden in his throat. Then he pulled out a lighter, removed the flint from it, and wedged it between his fingernails. Once he confirmed it could create a spark, he hid it in his fingernail to ensure his plan wouldn't fail. He tied his wrist tightly using his shoelace. Then he placed his thumb on the edge of the table and stomped on it with full force. This was the first step of his escape plan. Soon, Peter was placed into a helicopter, but he wasn't being released from prison. He was being taken to donate bone marrow to a terminally ill boy. In reality, the boy's wealthy father had paid $10 million to have Peter killed. By then, all the preparations for surgery were complete. They were just waiting for Peter's arrival. As soon as the helicopter landed, police vehicles cleared the way and reached directly at the hospital entrance. At that moment, the prison warden was very tense, because to him, Peter was like walking treasure. But suddenly, a police dog smelled something odd from Peter, though Peter immediately scared it off. When Peter saw secret documents being handed over to hospital staff, he realized he had now become the property of that rich man. Peter looked at the man standing in front of him with gratitude. If it hadn't been for him, Peter would never have had a chance to escape. When the doctors learned that Peter was a dangerous criminal, they carefully placed him on the operating bed without removing his handcuffs. But when one doctor tried to remove the cuffs to assist, Peter tore open the bottle hidden in his stomach. Peter knew the doctor was about to sedate him, so he prepared himself. The doctors administered anesthesia, but even after 30 minutes, he didn't pass out. They had no idea that he had already swallowed the antibiotic pill hidden in his throat. His thumb had already been dislocated, and he slowly slipped his hand out of the cuffs. By the time the doctors realized what was happening, it was too late. He kicked one doctor to the ground, then took out the flint hidden in his fingernail and lit the oxygen tank on fire. As chaos erupted in the room, he spat out the antibiotic bottle. He grabbed a defibrillator and jumped straight into the laundry room. Sliding through, he reached the first floor. The guards ran after him, but by then he had already put on a doctor's coat. When the police reached the laundry room, he had climbed to the upper floor through a pipe. Then he grabbed a doctor and forced him to cut the chain on his foot using a laser pen. By then, all the hospital doors were locked, but he went straight to the oxygen room and deliberately threw a lighter in there. The hospital caught fire and the entire power supply was shut down, and then he escaped through the tunnel.